Hey, what's up, everybody? This is yours truly. I know I ain't made a video in a long time, so because I've been very busy. Plus, I barely ever make rant videos anymore. Anyway, I mean, most of the guys I was subscribed to, they don't make videos no more either. So, um, but there's a subject I had to just get off my chest, and that was this Hulk Hogan situation. Um, it's an ongoing topic. I just want to let you know how I feel about it since I'm a black male and, I'm a wrestling fan. Or not as much as I used to be, but just let you know how I feel about it. First of all, I do think Hulk Hogan should be punished. Maybe even fired. But I think them erasing his legacy and stuff like that, erasing from history books. I think that's a little bit too much. I think that's a little bit too harsh. Even though he did it to himself, I think that's a little bit too harsh. But I mean, they acting like the dude killed somebody. And there's people in wrestling, there's people in the wrestling organization that's done far more worse, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, supposedly, they don't want China. The WWE don't want nothing to do with China because she's doing porn, because she did or does porn, you know. Or something else I've heard. The WWE. Um, but yeah, let's go back to the subject. There's Stone Cold. He beat his wife. There's, um, you know, there, there's there's all these guys that have been in and out of jail. There's guys that got drug issues. But yeah, let's get back to the subject. Yes, I do think Hogan should be punished because you know the WWE is kind of you know geared towards kids. It's rated PG. It's not the Attitude Era. But one thing I find like really odd about this whole situation is I think the WWE, they're hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? I find this very hypocritical because, watching wrestling all these years, it seems like, you know, it seems like you see the shit that they put on TV. They be doing some racist, stereotypical shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, look at Crime Time, for example. You know, there's others I can even mention, but also Alberto Del Rio. No, not him. Santino. Yeah, him. That Muhammad Hassan dude. And funny thing is, he's not even Arab. He's Italian. But but I look at it. But some of the other stuff they do, I just find like really odd. Like, first of all, how many black, how many black male wrestlers have won a world title over the past 50, over the past 30 years? Ask yourself that. Booker T and Mark Henry. I know Bobby Lashley won the ECW title, but let's be honest, that title doesn't mean shit. And plus, I mean, it didn't even last that long. You know what I'm saying? Chavo Guerrero pretty much proved that title didn't mean shit because he entered the Royal Rumble as the champion. Um, but let's be honest, you only had two black wrestlers win the world title. You can't include The Rock. We could include The Rock, but he pretty much for the most part, more for the most part identifies himself as Samoan. You know what I'm saying? Just like our president, he identifies himself as black. you know, or Tiger Woods, you know, he refuses to be black. So, but yeah, but you know, why not push some black wrestlers, for example? Because I think there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of black wrestlers, you know, that you know, I did see some guy that said a lot of them are talented, but they're not that good on the mic. Well, let's see. There's a lot of guys in the wrestling industry. There's a lot of guys in the WWE industry, a lot of white wrestlers in the in the industry that weren't that good on the mic and didn't have very good wrestling skills that are still that still became top of the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you want a good example? You want a good example? Let me hell. You was it ain't going to have to be a black thing. You rarely ever see any non-white wrestlers become world champ. Rarely. Like I know Rey Mysterio, he won it just because of Eddie Guerrero's death. You know, I don't know too much about Alberto Del Rio. I quit watching wrestling around that time. You know, then but it seemed like you know Vince. It seemed like Vince all he does is push all these wrestlers. Let's be honest. A lot of these wrestlers that climb the top of the mountain, they're really not that talented. You know what I'm saying? I would take some non-white wrestlers that are talented. Maybe they're not that good on the microphone, but they're more talented. Like D'Lo Brown, very underrated. Hakushi, very underrated. Um, list goes on. List goes on. Or probably I wasn't a big fan of his, but Ahmed Johnson, Farouk, Ron Simmons. You know, this was those dudes should have been those dudes should have been, you know, top of the chain. I know Farouk won and Ron Simmons won when he was in WCW, you know, but he didn't get that far. He didn't get that far in the WWE. He pretty much became a jobber. Then he pretty much became Tabby, what's his face, Bradshaw's bitch, basically. And that dude, he's overrated. And Bradshaw, I think Ron Simmons is a better wrestler than JBL. I think, you know, but look at some of these overrated wrestlers that made it to the top. You know, they're not that good on the microphone either. Ultimate Warrior, God rest his soul. Hogan, he's overrated as hell. Let's see, Lex Luger. However, I don't think he won in the WWFE, whatever. I know he won in WCW, but he ain't that good of a wrestler. He's just big on steroids. Kevin Nash, he ain't that good of a wrestler. Big Show. Let's see who else. Triple H is a good wrestler, but I think he was just boring as hell. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get for banging a boss's wife. And that's part of the reason why their TV ratings, I think he's one of the reasons why their TV ratings went to shit over the past 10 years. Who else? But yeah. You don't see you don't see any guys. You don't. You don't see any guys. You don't see any non. You don't see too many non-white wrestlers make it to the top, especially black wrestlers. And why isn't it? In the NFL and the NBA, you have a whole bunch of black superstars, MVPs. They're all MVPs. Why not? You know, why not push any black wrestlers? So yeah, WWE. I find this whole Hulk Hogan situation very hypocritical. You know, I know he's been apologizing. He's been apologizing a lot the past few days. He been posting pictures on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, Instagram, whatever. You know, of him and all these other him and some of his black friends that are in the sports industry or just really like him. But yeah, that's just so. Also, I must say I never met Hulk Hogan before, but I go to comic cons, comic conventions throughout the country. He's been to like two or three that I've gone to, but I never met him personally. But I've heard, I've had a, I've had a few people tell me that, in real life, they say they say dude's a jackass. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, not just comic cons, but I know some people that said they met dude at bars and clubs and stuff like that. They just said, he's a dick to him. It doesn't surprise me. Like some of the comic cons I've gone to, he charges like $100 for an autograph and a picture. That's fucked up. I think that's kind of outrageous. That being outrageous, I've gone to a couple. Some of the conventions I've gone to, there's other wrestlers there. Like, I can show you a couple pictures of some of the ones I've met. Um, they only charge like 10, $20. Some of them didn't even charge me. Like Booker T, he didn't. I took a pic. Booker T and Hawk from LOD. I mean Hannibal from LOD. You know, they let me take a picture with them because I took a picture with their kids. So I thought that was cool in exchange for taking a picture with their kids. So that was just cool, nice of them. Same thing with Kane. I caught him in the parking lot. He took a picture with me for free. So yeah, but they were nice guys. I mean, believe it or not, the NWO are nice guys, and a lot of people say the Click are jackasses. Maybe that was 20 years ago, so maybe things are completely different now. But yeah, this is them. Me personally, I look at it this way. I look at it this way. I must say, I can actually forgive Hulk Hogan. I ain't no fan of his. What he said is pretty much unforgivable to some. It's pretty unforgivable to some. But it's very hurtful. But I don't blame the WWE since the WWE is a rated PG show and they've gone to shit anyway. I mean, I don't blame them for suspending them. You can't say that stuff on TV, even though I could be wrong, but I remember, it kind of seemed like they just said, I mean, fuck, didn't Vince say the N word, call John Cena the N word? It's very hypocritical. On that, he even said it on national TV. So yeah, it is hypocritical. You know, I lose more and more respect for the WWE every day. So I'm done with this video. Y'all post in the comment section how y'all feel. Make this a good discussion.